Well, Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, is asking MPs to fully commit to the business of the House in spite of their loss. Out of that, the number of people we have in Parliament, you know that a chunk of them lost their position. Today on the floor, the professor urged the affected members of Parliament to take the defeat in their stride. My colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson, has been in Parliament for us, and he joins me with details. Parker, what exactly does the Speaker of Parliament say?
Right, so Gifty, the Speaker was urging the members of the House, especially those who lost their seats, actually not to abandon the work of the House. Now, the point he was making was that in an election, you win some and you lose some. And no matter what, if you continue to win an election, one day, definitely you will lose an election. And so this election shouldn't be any big deal for them because the party has plans of compensating them. And so they should make sure that everything that they have to do between now and the time they leave the House, they will do it. And also ask the other members of Parliament who had won their seats, including the minority, to console the members who lost their seats. So these were the exact words from the Speaker of Parliament. But the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, also has some words to say this morning. And the point he was making was that the time has come for we as a people to have a national conversation on the impact of money on politics, especially parliamentary democracy. So he believes that, I mean, most of the time people don't have the money, and so at the end of the day, they do not win the election to come to power. And so fine brains are leaving the House because they don't have enough resources. That is a worrying situation. That is a problem. And the time has come as a nation to have a national conversation to deal with the canker and make sure that everything is there. But on the interesting side was that the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, JoyNews, brought in a different twist. And he said that for us to deal with this canker, we have to first tackle the culture. And he said to the point where generally, if you ask people to do things that they are supposed to do naturally, they even demand money for it. So it's not just limited to politicians or election, but it's a general thing that has become a problem in our society. And so if we have to deal with it, then we have to go down before we can tackle the situation. So that was the twist angle he brought into the conversation.
I see, interesting. But I'd like to find out what the demeanor of the members of Parliament who came to the House today was. What was their demeanor?
Well, so we had about 5 of the losing MPs, or the defeated ones, in the House today. It was later that William Quay also joined, just about Parliament was about going on a break. So I must say MP4 Akotia was in the House. Dr. Makisibe Yabua, New Jabinsa, was in the House. Atopan for representing Shama, Vincent Odoto Isoa, Ladadi Kotopon, and Ekwefri of Abdekuma North Constituency were all in the House. And in fact, they were quiet. I mean, they were sitting alone. I mean, they were on their phones a few times. And before we realized, they had all sneaked out of the chamber because I had plans of speaking to some of them, actually. But before I realized they were not in the chamber, and then they had sneaked out. And also Dr. Makisibe himself, but I was targeting him to get a quick conversation with him. But unfortunately, before I realized, he had sneaked out, and then he was going to Job 600. I couldn't make it there. So these were the issues. But I managed to speak to William Quay too. And then he admitted that, yeah, I mean, he paid some money. Last 8 years, I mean, that was the first time I went to Parliament. He paid 50 Ghana cedis. The next time I was taking the money, 50 Ghana cedis each to delegates. Yes, that was an admission.
Okay.
Moving forward to the next election, he paid 100 Ghana cedis. Now, this time, he had to pay times 10 of that. And so
he paid 1,000 cedis. Yeah,
I mean, that's what, okay. He didn't mention, but I was saying that he had to pay times 10 of what he paid in the last election.
So the first election, he paid 50 cedis each to a delegate.
Right.
The next election, he paid 100 cedis each to the delegate. And the next one, I mean, this one, 10. He paid.
But even with that, he lost the election. And he said that he thinks it wasn't really about the money, but it was about the tribal dynamics in his constituency. Some of the chiefs wanted a candidate from a different tribe to represent them in Parliament. And so he thought that was the main reason why he lost this election. So that was his point. But the others who won the election also denied the fact that they paid delegates and said that it was because of their developmental project they've done in the constituency and how they're in touch with the delegates and the constituency and how they've availed themselves, especially for the MP for Takrady, for example. He says that every Saturday he's in the constituency fraternizing with them, attending funerals and church programs and all of that. So that is the reason why he won the election, and not because he had to pay or induce delegates to vote for him. Interesting.
Parker, thank you very much. And we'll look out for JoyNews Prime tonight, because Parker will put together all of these stories and will present it to you. Kwesi Parker Wilson was in Parliament for us, and he joined me with details of that. Thank you, Parker.